Hi everyone, thank you for dropping by. It's Darla Lucian of Darla Lucian Studios. And I just want to welcome you to another session of Craft with me. We are working on our winter journals. But before we get inside, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subbies and we're wondering how quick we can do it. Hopefully we can do it before the end of the month. So please share. Once I get to 100 subbies, I will be doing a draw for just those 100 subbies. It'll be great. Comment. Are you working on a journal right now? Are you in between projects? Are you just tired of winter already, even though we're only in the beginning of January? I mean, because it's possible. I know people have been shoveling a lot of snow. Anyway, please comment. I love to hear your comments, and I like to know what's going on in your life. I especially want to know if you're working on a winter journal yourself. I was feeling a little chilly yesterday just working with all these blue papers, and it was cold here yesterday. Today has been much, much better. All right, so we are going to get in here. So we were working on these journals last time, if you remember, and we made covers. And so these are looking great. I love how these look. They were made with a file folder, and you can check. I'm going to have it in a playlist, so you can check how we made those. And we're using the Winter Tales by Stamperia as part of the collage on the front, just mixing it up a little. And today we are choosing papers to go inside. So first things first, I am going to pull the coffee dye paper out, and we can have a little chat when I'm folding. So I'm going to put 5 in each of my journals, 5 coffee dyed papers, and these are my, actually these are tea dyed. These are mine, and I am going to be making some digitals of these available in my Etsy shop for downloads. So, you know, if you haven't tried tea dyeing, I think I might do a tutorial on that actually. But if you haven't tried it, it's kind of fun actually. But it is messy. I am not going to lie about that. That is one thing. It is quite messy. So I get it if you'd rather just print off a tea dyed one. And some of the patterns turned out really great this time. Like some of them are more faint. Listen to that sound the paper makes. It's because it was wet and then heated to dry. I didn't oven bake them this time, but they did get quite warm. Look at the nice pattern on that one. That's just going to be a great journaling page, I think. Somebody's going to get lucky with that one. And there's another one that's very similar. I think that was on the other side. I kind of sandwich them when I'm making them, when I'm tea dyeing them. And waste not, want not, okay? This one is real splotchy, but the pattern took really well on this one. So I do love how this one turned out. Okay, I cannot line this up to save my life here. There we go. Yeah, these are lovely, and I love the sound. Like that's one of the things with journals is you know, it's a feast for the senses. You got the sight, the sound. These ones don't smell, but the coffee dyed ones, they definitely smell. They smell amazing. Alrighty. So while I am quickly putting a video together here, my son is making supper. So if you hear a beeping in the background, that will be the timer telling us that the chicken is ready to come out of the oven. He is quite a good cook, that boy. And for 14, that is a cool thing to be able to say. Yeah, this is a little paler, but there's lots of color on some of them. So we'll mix it up so that each journal has some pale ones and some patterned ones. Actually, I'm going to put this on the outside because this is just so I can see that it's one of the more patterned ones after all. Alright, so this is kind of pale. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort them into pale and patterned, and then figure out what's going into each journal. So pale, patterned, pale, patterned, pale, patterned, 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 patterned. Ooh, wow, that's got a good pattern. Pale, pale, pattern, pale. So we have 3 journals and there's 6 of these. Well, that worked out. I'm not going to say that that didn't work out perfectly. Alright, so let's pull these clips off. And we are going to go 1, 2, into there. 1, 2, into that one. And 2, into that one. And then I need 1, 2, 3. I'm just pulling them from different places so that they don't all have the same pattern. 1, 2, 3, and 3 for you. Wonderful. Okay, so then I wanted to do 3 belly bands, 1 in each, and I'm just going to tuck those in real quick. 1, 2, and 3, and I wanted to put in envelopes, CD envelopes. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's all well and good. So now we're getting to some of the papers that I've chosen. So what I've decided to do is, because they are a 1 signature, because they're soft cover and there's only room for 1 signature, I'm going to do 15 pages plus the envelope. So that's going to give me 5 tea-dyed, 5 of the patterned, and then 5 of the kind of plain ones. So that it's a nice mix. That's what we want. So, well, let's grab those ones that are the right size first of all. Fold those up. Boy, is it ever hard to see the edges when it's like right on top of the same color. Alright, so I'm just folding these in half. Now I always make my journal covers when I'm making them myself from scratch, unless I'm doing like an altered book cover, like where I just take the book cover. I always do it 9 by 6 because then an 8.5 by 11 fits in just swimmingly. And so you don't have to do as much cutting. And especially if you print off digital paper kits, then it's, I mean, it's so much the better then, right? Because everything's all the right size. So I am using scrapbooking paper, which is 12 by 12. And so that is going to be the bane of my existence. And I'm putting in some construction paper, and that is usually 9 by 13 or something like that. Oh, there's some more. These are actually cardstock. Where's my other one? There we go. This one is just a slightly different color. So we'll have to figure out which one gets the more deep shade. Let's see. Which one says, I want the more tealish looking one. Let's see. That one. Maybe. That one. Maybe. You know, it could go in any one of them. It really doesn't matter. I'll put it in this one. Alright. So this is cardstock. So it is nice and stiff. So I am going to really have to work that edge to make sure that it's folded well. Oh, don't you align until I need you to stay in place there, mister. All right. Okay. So I think the rest all need to be cut. So I guess we'll just start at the top and work our way down. So the other thing is I don't need my glue book for this one. So the other thing is that we could do the edge. So we need to get 8.5 by 11 here. Or we could do 8.5 by 12. And then I'm going to save all these pieces. And so then I can cut the edge with the decorative scissors, which is what I'm going to do on this. And I'll save these little bits as well, because why not? So this is going to give us a little bit of a more interesting edge. Okay. Now folding these is a little trickier, but it's best to just line up the sides. And it's okay if the end isn't perfectly even, because you won't see them next to each other. They'll be next to a different page. All right, so I'm actually going to spread these guys out here so I can just put them in really simply. All right. So then we're going to do this one. 8.5. And then, so it's 12 this way, and we need 11, so when we're cutting off just a little bit here, that's going to get us kind of where we need to be. That's why I'm not cutting anything off this end, because I don't want it to be too small. I do love this paper. It's very pretty and frosty, and like I said, it's not as cold today, so it's not freezing me to look at some of these papers. Do you ever get that happening, or do you just, I don't know, power of suggestion, I guess? Or you're like, I think I'm freezing because I'm touching snowflake paper. Alright, and then I have one more, again, a slightly different kind of snowflake one. And we'll put that with the teal one again. And we'll do the same thing on the edge. This is quite pretty paper too. This is actually the cover of my January journal. I used this paper for my agenda or planner. This is kind of both. Alright. I'm going to put this one away. Alright, so then we have this lovely paper, and I want the stripe to be up and down, not horizontally. So that means that we need to be 8.5 this way by 11 this way. So that should mean we're cutting off 1 inch. Doesn't look like much, but it makes a difference. Again. Huh, I wonder where the other one of that one is. I thought I had 3 of those. No, this is the 8.5. 8.5. So I realize that me cutting paper is probably a little bit boring, but you know, I hope you're crafting with me or you're having a nice cup of something, and we can keep each other company. So I do not know what happened to my other stripey one because I thought I had 3 of them. But continuing on. .5 by 11, and I want to do corner rounding on these, so I'm just going to keep these handy for a sec. These paper trimmers are super handy for a job like this. Could you imagine having to measure, draw a line with a ruler, and then hand cut it? It's not that you couldn't, because you can. And, I mean, it can look great. It's just not as quick. And I find that after a while, my lines aren't as straight as I wish they would be. Alright, so corner rounder. Let's pull that out. Oh, actually, no, I should fold these first. It's always easier to fold them when they have points. So far I've been folding them so that the pattern is on the outside. And I've done 3 that way. And now after these, I'm going to switch to the other direction so that the pattern is on the inside, just so that it's not so eternally the same. Alright, so you see, nicer edge there. A little bit more interesting texture to just have. I know it's kind of just a small thing, but it's actually amazing how sometimes the little details really take it up to the next level. I remember when I first got this thing, I thought I had, you know, that it was the stuff. Because it just, you know, you try corner rounding with the scissors and good luck with that. I mean, trying to get them equal, yeah, it's not a thing that would happen. Rounded edges are my bane of my existence to do with the scissors hand cutting. Alrighty. Well, you guys are really, I can't believe how fast we're going. You guys are real encouraging. Alright, so we need 8.5. Uh-oh. Wants to be a little fussy over there. It's okay, that's the part that's coming off anyway. Alright, so instead of folding it so that the pattern is on the outside now, I'm going to switch it so that the white is on the outside. So that's going to give the people who buy these journals opportunity to do stenciling or painting or any number of other things, or even putting like a large pocket down on the page. Faden, can I get you to get that and shut the timer off right away? Remember to check the fries for doneness. Do you remember how? So I put in some cream ones and some blue ones because with the tea dye. I thought this kind of really went with the tea dye. And I thought, you know, just another kind of a little bit more variety. I don't mind kind of a monochromatic theme for the winter ones, but I figured we needed to do a little bit of variety. So I do have a lot of blues in these. As you can see, this is such a pretty shade of blue, by the way. I do love this one. I have a lot of this kind of paper. I must have bought a paper pack with like this kind of pattern in like every color. Oh yeah, I need the white on the outside. But sometimes, if you're smart, you go and you get one of every color because you know they're going to go together. So, for example, this blue and that cream are kind of sand color. I mean, they're perfect together, I think. Alright. So you see we're starting to get through the scrapbooking paper, and I do not have one of those blue ones. Wonder what I was thinking I was going to use for that. Guess I'll have to find one. Is everything done, Baden? Okay. All right. So let's see what this is. 9. We'll do 8.5. 9 by 12, right? Is that what this is? Yeah, must be, because that's 11 right there. So I like using construction paper in my journals. It is not acid-free, obviously, so if you're going to use journals for archival purposes, this wouldn't be the ones to tuck in. However, I just like that it brings a different texture to the pages, and like the feel is really quite different. And I mean, you can do different things with it, you know, than you would on, say, copy paper, for example. And frankly, when we have kids, we end up having a lot of this kind of paper around, don't you think? It's amazing how much this kind of stuff you can find around your house. Where do you guys find your scrapbooking supplies? I went shopping in my house when I first started doing junk journaling. And because I had scrapbook before, you heard the slip of the tongue, I had quite a lot of scrapbooking paper and some of the tools like the corner rounder and that sort of thing. And then with junk journaling, almost anything can be ephemera that you can put in, and it is amazing. If you just look in your recycling, there is so much stuff that you can use. It's really kind of cool. Alright, we're starting to get down to the bottom here. the last one of the construction paper. And then, oh yes, I printed these off, and I'm going to probably make this available in my Etsy shop. I made these kind of like book plates, and I think they're going to be great. So I'm just going to slice off. I kind of made these like teal, but with a shine to them. They almost look like they've got a metallic sheen to them. I'll just leave these ones in one because heavens knows they'll go missing otherwise probably. Alright, and then the other thing that I did is I collaged a little bit on a regular copy paper of the Stamperia Winter Winter Tales. So I am going to just trim the white off. Or am I? You know what? I'm not. I am going to find my glue book, which I'll put over here. And I think I am going to ink the edges. What color? That's too bright. That's probably too dark. What about Sahara Sand? Let's try one and see how I like it. So I am going to add a little inky here. Boy, not much is coming off.